Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. Today we are doing a wedding update and I am joined by my lovely fiance, David.
Hello everyone.
He's back. So I know a lot of people here who follow me on my YouTube channel and on other social media are wondering what our new plans are for our wedding, and our friends and family have been wondering as well. So today we're going to provide you an update on what our new plans are, and we're hoping that this video can help out other brides and grooms that are going through the same process of having to replan or reschedule weddings in 2020. And we're hoping that this video can be a nice way to tell our friends and family exactly what our plans are and have it be a little bit more personal than us sending you a really sad email or having to call all of you, which would take a long time. So hopefully this video comes across as being more personal and gives everyone the updates that they need to know. And of course, for friends and family, more detailed updates will be coming to you in the mail or over email. So in the process of planning our wedding, we never in a million years thought that this was going to happen. We did our first video as part of our wedding series back at the end of February, and literally 3 or 4 weeks later, the entire world changed. And obviously no one could have seen this coming, but this is what we're all sort of dealing with and living with right now. And it was really scary. It still is really scary. So yeah, that was traumatizing in itself. And on top of that, you know, planning a wedding and just seeing that just like vanish right before your eyes was really upsetting.
Yeah, it's very disappointing to have all these plans set and ready to go. In your mind you think that this is what you want to do, and then all of a sudden things really change and you just have to learn to adapt. But it does take some time to process what happened.
Yeah, definitely. At the beginning of like March and April when it first hit, like we had our engagement photos scheduled, and that got canceled because like our photographer couldn't work, the hair and makeup artist that we hired couldn't work, and that was kind of sad. But then when we figured like, oh, this is gonna affect our wedding, and when we reached out to our venue and they basically said like we can't host as many people as we were planning on, that's when it hit us. We were like, oh, okay, like this is serious. A lot of our guests that were going to attend our wedding are either from BC, Ontario, other provinces, and even other countries. And the logistics of traveling right now, it's next to impossible. And we're thinking it's probably going to be similar in the fall time when our wedding is planned. And not only is it going to be difficult, it's probably going to be more expensive. So we don't want to put that financial constraint on our guests to expect them to come here and pay for the flight, pay for hotels, pay for like gifts and stuff. So we don't want any of that. We did actually have the option of having a much smaller gathering within the provincial guidelines, but even like with that, we still feel like it's a little socially unacceptable to, you know, do that and like host a gathering, and especially like a wedding, because it's really like there's lots of hugs, there's lots of kisses, and you know. Yeah,
we wouldn't be able to do any of those things. We wouldn't be able to hug anyone.
Yeah,
it would be a wedding where everybody just stood apart and couldn't dance, couldn't have fun. It would just be eating dinner separately at separate tables.
Yeah. So for me, when COVID-19 really hit at the end of March and beginning of April, it was really hard to come to terms with what was happening. Like in itself, you know, people started getting sick, people started dying, people lost their jobs, businesses were closing, you had to like watch out for all of your health and well-being, and it was traumatizing in itself to have to go through that, and we all did that. And I think we're all still a little bit scarred from what happened and what is still happening today, which is crazy. And then, as I said, you know, planning a wedding, you know, having worked on our wedding plans basically since we got engaged, like over a year now, just to see it all taken away in literally a blink of an eye was so scary. Like the way I processed it was basically crying for an entire week.
A month.
Was it a month?
You cried for a month.
Okay, I cried for a month. You definitely have the right to feel this way if you're a bride and groom or a groom planning a wedding in 2020. Like, you probably put in just as much effort as we did, perhaps even more, and it's a lot. There's a lot of money being spent, there's a lot of time being put into this, a lot of organizing, and it's hard to let that go. So I feel like, you know, if you need to cry, that's totally okay, and if that makes you feel better in the end, just go ahead and do it, because I went through that process and now I kind of see the light, and it's just, I don't know, I feel better now.
Yeah, and I think for me, I didn't process it the same way Melissa did. I think I did.
David's like, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, no, it's not.
I didn't really think it was going to be fine, but I think what I was thinking more of, like, in general, there's a lot of issues that are coming. October was really far away from the beginning of March, and we're still getting new information back in March about what COVID-19 was, the symptoms. We weren't really sure of where it was coming from, or it was transmitted, and we were watching the entire world just explode. In between that, we were supposed to be going to Japan too.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to go to Japan at the beginning of April. We were supposed to leave on April 1st.
Yeah, and so we canceled. So, like, it's understandable how we were really sad, especially since we had planned a wedding, we had planned this big trip.
Yeah.
And none of it came through because we couldn't do any of those things.
First world problems though, first world problems. It's not the end of the world if you don't have a big wedding or you don't go to Japan. As long as you have your health and your well-being, then that's all that really matters. Back in March and April, when we were going through, like, processing our emotions and what was happening, we initially thought of not getting married on the date that we have set for this year. And you know, we didn't want to do that. We picked a really, really great date, and I just love it. We're not going to tell you, obviously, because we don't want any wedding crashers, but obviously, friends and family.
You can't crash the wedding anyway.
That's true, you can't. Like, you will go to jail. It's illegal. But basically, as time went on, we saw that life wasn't going to go back to normal, and people wouldn't be able to travel. Things would be a lot more expensive or a lot more restricted or reduced. So every day, even like now, it still seems less and less realistic. So on our upcoming wedding date, we have decided to elope.
Yay!
Oh my god! Something I never thought would happen. I always envisioned, you know, getting married with all of our friends and family around us, but obviously that can't happen, and it's gonna be a little bit of a different vibe. I feel like with friends and family, you have that, like, that love and that warmth around you and everything, but I think eloping is also gonna be really nice. It'll be definitely more relaxing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll get to spend more time together, and it'll be a little bit more meaningful, I feel. So
yeah, and we can both really take in and enjoy the moment of us getting married, and the ceremony will be meaningful because it's just the two of us.
Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, is that two people love each other and are getting married and just are gonna be together forever.
Yeah.
Right, So for our elopement, we are going still with all of the vendors that we had originally planned to be there for our big wedding celebration. And I'm so happy to say that, because the way COVID hit, you know, local businesses and the wedding industry especially was really bad here. And I think, like, everywhere else too, but you know, seeing a local business suffer and all that, it's really hard. So we still wanted to go with all of our vendors. We basically had everyone, like, ready to go. We either had contracts in place or we were working through getting contracts developed. So we didn't let anyone go. We are still working with everyone, just in a more reduced capacity right now. So we were super appreciative though. Like, everyone that we talked to was so great at accommodating us and the new schedules that we had, and they've just been really, really great.
Yeah, I really appreciate the vendors being able to adjust their schedules. I was hearing stories and reading stories on the internet about vendors elsewhere that weren't as accommodating.
Yeah.
Where people just had to cancel and they didn't get their deposits back. But I'm glad to hear that at the time of this recording that they're kind of up and running again.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Also, since we were so deep in the wedding planning process and we already had some contracts developed and signed or were in development, we were a little bit nervous approaching our vendors and asking them to, renegotiate the contract or change the scope of work. But luckily, we were working with a local wedding planning company called Details BC, and we had originally hired them for day of coordination services for our wedding day. We kind of worked with them to have them reach out to the vendors for us and see if we could get the contracts renegotiated or amended in other ways. So they did a really good job with that. They were very thorough, and it was really great because they kind of knew what was going on more with the wedding industry and knew how people and other vendors were responding. So it was really great having them sort of approach our vendors and talk to them a little bit before we could. So that took a lot of stress off of us, which was wonderful. So Details BC was really great at shifting sort of their scope of work, and we're still going to have them there on our elopement day and our wedding day, and they'll be there obviously to receive vendors and make sure everything goes smoothly during the day. So we're very happy that they'll be there and they'll still be helping us, and we're hoping that they can also help us set up like a virtual Zoom wedding. So we're still kind of talking about that and the logistics of the site and everything, but we're hoping that everyone can join our secure wedding link and watch us get married. So everyone that we originally invited can still sort of be there, virtually be there to celebrate with us. So that'll be really great. Overall, Details BC has been really great. They've been really understanding, supportive, and really flexible in adjusting the scope of work. So we really highly recommend them. Even like, I figure their day of coordination services or their wedding planning services themselves would have been great. But, just from our experience like with them and how well they've dealt with the situation, we highly recommend them. So if you're looking for a wedding planner or an event planner here in Victoria or local Vancouver Island area, I'll leave all our information down below. And shout out to Lisa, who we're working with. She's been fabulous. So thank you, Lisa.
Thanks,
and
Lisa.
Thank you, Nicole. So even though this was not what we had planned to do for our wedding, I hope all you guys understand, and I hope that, from what we've said in this video, if you're planning a wedding, hopefully you can take some of the same things into consideration and, work through the process of rescheduling or replanning your wedding. So sucks to have to do, but you can get through it. If we can, you can.
I'm very grateful that we were able to come to the solution that we did have, and I love Melissa so much, and I'm so excited to be marrying her.
Oh, I love you too.
Love you.
So the wedding is still on. Love isn't canceled, and we have lots of fun things to still share with you guys running up to our big wedding day, and I'm really excited.
Me too.
We have so many great videos planned, and with the wedding series, we'll be posting a wedding video once a month leading up to our wedding. So we have June, July, August, September, October, 5 videos, maybe some bonus videos if we think of some more content or we can't fit our content into one video. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I hope all you guys are still excited for us and happy for us. But yeah, no, we have some really great stuff planned, so definitely stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow us on our wedding series, and if you like this video and want to celebrate us and our big decision and our love, hit the like button. Okay, and with that, we will see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.